Today is a new day. As promised, yesterday we checked on OB order blocks. I think up to where we left, we could have perfected on something if we watched my YouTube video yesterday. Now, today we are checking on when to enter a trade. Several things that you should check before you enter any trade. This should serve you as a beginner course. So these are several things that every trader, either a professional trader, either an amateur, any trader that should know, even if you're trading on a demo account, even if you're doing it on a live account, even if you're doing it on a million account, even if you're doing it in any amount that you're trading on, these are details that you should check on. One, once you get, for example, once you wake up at 4, if you trade during the Asian session, you should check. First, you should check where the market, where the price closed at. That's first note that you should check. Then again, you should check on the structure of the market. When I say the structure, I mean the trend of the market. If the trend is bullish or if the trend is bearish, and you should always do it on a higher time frame, like on daily time frame. And let's take like in this case of USD, we check on daily time frame. On daily time frame, USD is still a buy. So even if you saw a sell signal yesterday, that was just a retest. Could be when we'll be studying about when we'll be doing wave analysis, this one is what we call a corrective wave. Then this one is the impasse. So that's the topic for another day. But today, let's check on several things that every trader should check. One, I said, is the trend of the market or the market structure. Because you cannot end, just like an ender going to marketplace without knowing what you're going to buy, without knowing what you are focusing to purchase. So here's the thing. Once you're certain that the market is bullish, look for buy entries. If you're certain the market is on a bearish trend, look for sell setups, because you cannot stop a moving vehicle on an highway. That's what many traders do. They normally think that if a market has started reversing like today, it will reverse for 2 days. It cannot reverse maybe for 30 minutes or even for an hour. That's for scalpers. If you are a scalper and you're able to get maybe this move, if you got this move from this point, let me do a schedule. I even did something on USDJPY yesterday. If you followed yesterday lesson on USDJPY, you are still on good profits, you are still on buy. Because we did USDJPY, I told everyone in that video that it was a buy and it will still buy. Even if we get the news at around 5:30 today, that's Kenyan time, may pull the price upwards. That was the expect. But fundamentals normally act in a very sluggish way that you don't know if the market will go, maybe it will range, or even it may continue the trend, or even it may reverse for some minutes, then the trend continues. That's what happens when you trade fundamentals. So if you don't know how to trade fundamentals again, always stay away from the chart. You've only checked on structure. Again, second thing you check on the market is something we call patterns, market patterns. By market patterns, I mean this. By market patterns, let me check on an example of, I don't know if CAT-GPY has some good patterns, or let's say check on 4 hours. By market patterns, I mean, we should check on something we call where your support is. For instance, we can do a support zone at this point. That's on 4 hours. 4 hours can do a support zone at this point. Can do a support zone. I should touch majorly two key points, or even three key points for it to be called a support, because you cannot call a support zone without touching major key points. That's what I mean. Then again, you should do a resistance here. You should touch again two major key points. And check. I'm just placing it, then you can see all. Just a moment. I'll select this. Okay, should touch two major points like that. Don't try to extend the line. Just touch two major points. That's enough. That's on 4-hour zone. So we should be checking whether the price has reached your resistance zone or whether it's just ranging. If the price is ranging within that zone, that one is what we call market moving sideways. It has not given you a clear direction if it's a sell or it's a buy. That's the second thing that you should note. And again, if you are good in reading candlesticks, check on major candlesticks. Check on where we have a bullish signal candlestick. For instance, you can check on the pin tops or even the shooting star, like this one. Let me check that one so you can see, or even let me circle it. Okay. Let me circle it. Like this one. This is what I'm talking about. You can see there is something you call there is a bearish signal because the market was trending upwards. Then it happens that market formed something we call a bearish signal that we call a pin bar or even a shooting star in this case. So if you see maybe a pin bar at the resistance point in a trending bullish market, that's a clear signal that the market may reverse and it will give you a good sell signal. That's two. Then another pattern you should check on. I don't know if gold gave a good pattern. Check on gold. Okay, leave alone gold. Let me check another one. Not you. Check another one that gave a good signal, maybe a buy or even a sell signal in this case. Let me try not to use my indicator because someone may say that my indicator is misleading them, but I know cannot mislead somebody who is okay. Let me do something we call on the OB salon. On the OB salon without any other shading. This is how my chart looks like at times. So you can check something we call head and shoulders. That's one that you can check on. That's on a market on your daily. If you are a day trader, if you are a professional trader, if you are a position trader, if you are a scalper, always check on the market patterns. Always check on it. That will give you a good direction. It should give you a good prediction of the market. For instance, if you check on Audi card on 4 hours, there's something called head and shoulder, inverted head and shoulder. Let me share the zones, at least you can see. Inverted head and shoulder. You can see this one, the first shoulder is here. The first shoulder is there. Then here's the second shoulder. Let me shape the second shoulder. At least everyone should see the second shoulder. Here's the second shoulder. Here's the second shoulder. Then here's the head, the inverted head and shoulder. Then the head, inverted head and shoulder. Here's the head. Here's the head. So what do we expect in this one? In this one, even if it may retest again the shoulder, the movement is still bullish. This is what will happen. The market will move in this direction. The market will move in this direction to test this point. Just to test this point, even if it takes a week or even a day to test that point. That's where our focus is. Maybe our tip should be at this particular point, simply because we are following the inverted and the shoulder. Type those are some of the things that don't give a wrong direction to trend patterns, market patterns. Okay, so again, that's the third point. First, we said you have to check on the market structure. That's if it's bullish or bearish on higher time frames. Second, you check on the market patterns. Third, we check on the some major reversal patterns, maybe the pin bar, the bullish army, those ones. If you have not mastered candlesticks, or even you've not mastered the candlestick knowledge, go back to baby tips. You know, many traders say that I'm a professional trader, I can trade, but are you consistent in the market? Are you consistent in the market? No. The reason is because you ignore some finer details. You ignore something that if you had mastered before, you could be maybe you could be you could be uh, let's say a full-time trader like I am. So again, that's point number 3 that we should check in any moment that you want to enter market. Yesterday we checked on this one. You call it the obvious the order blocks. If you never went through my yesterday topic that I posted on my YouTube channel, I said an OB is formed either majorly formed at the resistance point or even at the support point. And how do you establish a support or even a resistance point? One, a support zone is formed by the lower lows. Those are the zones that you check. Then a resistance point is formed by the higher highs. Those are the key things that you check when you're doing your resistance and your support zones. So here's the thing, like you can see, this one is a good OB for a buy signal. This one could have given you even a buy signal because we had a bearish candlestick, like you can see. Then there came a bullish candlestick preceded by another bullish candlestick, confirming a bullish trend. So for how the card is still on a bullish trend. So you could have just taken you could just taken the trade and bought in the market. Okay, then so and there is something you call correlation. You have to check even on correlation if you are a good trader or even if you want to ensure consistency in the market. Check on correlation. Check on correlated pairs. One, if AUD is on a buy, AUD-CHF is still on a buy, AUD-JPY is on a buy. That's one thing that you have to check. Euro AUD is inversely proportional to AUD-USD. So Euro AUD will be selling in a case whereby AUD-USD is trading on a buy. That's a major point that you should note in any moment that you want to take a trade. You should ignore such details. And again, if USD-JPY is selling, USD-CHF most probably should also be selling. You see, those are some of the major details that you should note. They are called correlated pairs. I'll check on. I'll do a lesson on correlation pairs some other day. So majorly today I was touching on major keys that you should check on before making a short or even before making a long. Thank you for attending the lesson. I normally do some short lessons because short lessons are clear enough for one to capture and for one to follow. Thank you very much. Let's continue.